And is it Jordan Love? Jordan
Yeah,
Love, who played.
Aaron's gonna be back
Yes,
today. Yeah.
yeah, that's my understanding. But I don't think they did too badly. I mean, up against Kansas City, who are
No,
very very strong.
defense was spectacular.
Yeah,
You know, and I
yeah,
suppose Jordan Love. I mean, he's kind of nervous his first game.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
And the thing is, you never know how good these players are until you give them the opportunity.
Oh yes, I agree. Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Look who we've got joining us.
All right,
Haha.
my bro Jerome is with us. Yeah,
Just down, just
Hello.
down, just down the road there in Belgium.
I know. Yeah, Belgium, Wisconsin. He never stops over though.
No. How are you doing, guys?
Oh, pretty good. How you doing?
I think even
Fine.
Becca's. I think even Becca's on with us. Are you there, Becca?
Yeah, I was having connection issues earlier. Sorry.
No, you're okay. I didn't know if you were working and you'll need to sort of pop in and out.
No, I'm working. I'm here at work. Yeah, but
Yeah.
for some reason my internet's slow.
How are you doing, Becca?
I'm doing fantastic.
I was going to
Thank
show
you.
Jerome my mic. I was going to hook up.
Oh,
Go on.
hold
Ah,
on.
nice. Wow.
Yeah, but I found out the end is big, and I got a small end for my computer. So
Ah, yeah, the
yeah,
the plug. Yeah. I
yeah,
see.
I never thought of that. I made even a holder, and I come down to the plug, and all of a sudden, oh, a real big one.
You can get these adapters that go from big
Oh
to
yeah.
small and small to
Yes, I
big.
do have one, but you think I can find it?
I know you were saying last week. You still haven't found it. You've been looking for that for a month now.
I have a lot of this stuff in my
Yeah.
studio.
I'll
I have a
find it by
lot of this
next
stuff.
Christmas, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not expensive. It's an $50 at least. It's
I must admit, I'm getting lazy. I just go on Amazon if I'm looking for something and just, if it's a couple of quid, just do it that way, quicker and easier. So, just first of all, Jerome, I will be going to the phoning the doctors tomorrow.
yeah.
I did have a phone call from the doctor 2 weeks ago. I got a dose of amoxicillin, and that seemed to help, but still can't shift it. Tightness across the chest and
Yeah.
at times struggle breathing. So Eunice reckons it could be the long COVID. I tested last night. It wasn't COVID, so but it
No.
could just be the after effects of it. When you're
Yeah.
58, it takes you a bit of getting over it, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
feeling tired all the time, feeling problem with the. Yeah, I know what it is, and
Now, when you catch
hopefully,
something, they all say it's got to run its course. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and hopefully it's not the COVID because
yeah.
it's it's one stuff, but yeah, it's still an infection, so it's not easy. So that's why I told you, Paul, you need to rest. Like I was saying to
Yeah.
Richard at the time, take a breath.
Yeah.
We have the time.
Give the alcohol a break.
Do you know what? That's
Yeah.
funny. You should mention that. Today I haven't had a single drink, but I must admit, yesterday I did have a few beers. So I don't know if that is to my detriment. But yes, sometimes it is a case of you could end up just drinking for the sake of it, and it doesn't do any
Yeah.
help. So
Yeah.
so yes, I haven't had a single drink today, and I won't today. I was
Wow.
Wow.
just off it completely.
Wow.
You
Yeah,
deserve
yeah.
you deserve a medal or something.
Ah, hi. Um.
A
So
Scottish
so
who doesn't drink. Wow, wow.
I know. So how are you doing these days, Jerome? Because you were a
Yeah.
little
Ah,
Right.
bit under the weather a while back,
Long
weren't you?
time no see, Jerome. Yeah.
yeah, fine. But I've been really busy with all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Working in my studio upstairs to have my new studio. You will see soon, but it takes time and it's exhausting. But in the same time, I'm looking for a lot of different cases where I can help,
Yeah.
and there is a lot of case, sadly, um, about the death penalty. We try on Twitter to help people
Hmm.
to don't be released because sometimes they are guilty of their crime, and
Hmm.
I don't say it's good or not, but I mean they don't deserve the death penalty and the reclusion at perpetuity for sure, but not the death penalty. So I try to do my best. I try to share. I try to reach reach more people I can, and I try to do my best. And in the same times, I'm working on GFK for
I was
the
going to say,
next.
have you not got a live video chat coming up
Oh
shortly?
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. On the 22, the
Yep.
58th anniversary of the assassination of the president John Fitzgerald Kennedy on
Yep.
the 22 November, and it's a show we can discuss about. We can talk about whatever we want. It's not a specific stuff with an introduction with the past of Lee Oswald, the past of Jack Ruby, or who is involved. No, it's just talking like this about what do you think happened at the time, why, to see what people think. Say I I invite people to come in and give their thought about the
Yeah.
case. And Paul, do you have talk with Dr. Silkman about that?
He's as he says, that's one of his interesting cases. So,
I know.
did I not share it with you? Get back to you to say that he was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You was
Yeah.
excited by the ID. Yeah, yeah, I remember. But like, I'm not in touch with him. I was asking you. Yeah, because after 58 years, we don't know the truth about the assassination.
Yeah.
And if it was so simple, if there is no plot, there is nothing, why, after 58 years, there's still again a lot of non-answer question,
Hmm.
uh, and all these files not released again. There's a lot of question. I mean, there is something, but what
Yeah.
is the question?
Yeah. Absolutely. And Becca, how's the bumper stickers going and the armbands, the wristbands?
Yeah, I'm slowly selling them.
Good.
I deposited more money into Brendan's account the other day, so that's
Yeah.
always good. And um, yeah, so
Let's
it's all
hope he did.
going good so far.
Yeah. Let's hope he didn't put.
I heard he hired you on now.
All right.
Oh, did he?
Huh? Yeah, I thought so. No, just kidding. I don't know. I
I'm,
like to
I'm
joke
just
around with you like that. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just hoping that he didn't put all
Yeah.
that money on the Packers to win last week against.
No, you would have lost quite a bit.
Yeah. No, it's brilliant what you do, Becca. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's
Um,
brilliant, and everyone we try to help in this case are brilliant. Really.
yeah. Yeah. Okay, Jock. Okay, Jock. I get it. There's somebody there.
Ah,
Okay.
Jug had something to say. Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah,
wants
yeah.
to be
Jug,
he wants to take over Paul's spot.
yeah, yeah. I think Jug had a secret on Paul, and watch his face. Watch his face. Yeah, yeah. I think Jock had a secret on Paul, and he want to tell the truth
Yeah, and
today.
Paul
Yeah.
doesn't want to let him
And
have the mic. Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, yeah, and Paul is not agree because Paul is shy and he doesn't
Yeah.
want to people know the truth.
Yeah. 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 And sorry, must just say, of course, that talking about people that haven't been very well, you kept us informed about Sharon, and Sharon seems to be a lot better now. So that's good news, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's on. She's actually even on with us
Yeah, I
right now.
know. I can see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I can't see the chat. I yeah, yeah. Right now I see the chat. Oh yeah. Hello everybody. Hello, hello my Wimi. Yeah. Sharon, like I was explaining in my last slide, was not well. She had suffered from a heart attack 1 month ago, but she was not well at all. And but she was um, really in good hand in a good hospital, and she slowly recover. It's not easy, but it takes time. But she had good medicines, and she had I mean she had all she needs, and
Yeah.
we hope the best for her. We all love her and we miss her.
Yeah. I'm relieved that she's doing well enough to be home and resting at home. So,
Yeah, but for
Is
now
this
she
something Lon should know about?
Oh no, no, that's nothing. No, that's nothing.
Sorry, Jerome.
no, don't be sorry. No, she's home, and with William and Neil, and William is really important because to have somebody William is the nurse uh, of Sharon and Neil, and is really an amazing guy because he takes care of Neil and Sharon every day, and without him, maybe Sharon will not be there today because he is really, really amazing.
Yeah,
And there is a lot of people we don't realize what the nurse do,
yeah.
what they do, and what how it's
I know
uh,
they do. I know they do a lot.
yeah,
I know. Yeah.
and it's a really an amazing. It's not a job for them. It's really their life. You see, it's really their life. It
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is something they want to do. They don't have to do, but they want to do to help. And well,
Yeah.
Oh, look
it's
at Becca's
fabulous.
shirt. Becca's shirt
I wanted
throwing
to
her
show
shirt up.
Dan's life. I'm wearing her shirt.
Dassey
Oh,
Hold on a
oh,
sec.
Nation
Hold on a sec.
strong.
Hold on a sec.
This is
Dassey
the
Nation
if
strong.
you look at Nan's life icon, this is the so I wanted to show her that I'm wearing the shirt.
Excellent.
awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
The only thing is, John, we have to poke fun at Sharon every now and again for the fact that she poked fun at us, didn't she? You remember?
She said William saved her life that night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
awesome guy. Awesome, just awesome.
Yeah. He is amazing, amazing.
I've got a couple of questions for in general. Um, first of all, I've only just realised that there's this big case down in Kenosha of the Rittenhouse case,
Oh, right.
Oh yeah,
Kyle
yeah.
Rittenhouse case. I find this bizarre. The fact that the guy went out and shot people. He actually drove, albeit from is it Antioch, which is just on the border with Wisconsin. It's pretty close to Kenosha.
Yeah, yeah.
But he drove across to help some vigilantes.
Well,
Shoots
his
two people.
mom drove him. His mom
Oh,
drove him
wow!
across the
Wow!
border because this kid's only 17. You got to remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
His mom
Excuse
drove
me.
him and another friend over the border into
Ex-
Wisconsin.
Excuse me, Becca, or Paul, or Pete. Could you quickly resume me the case because I'm not aware at all.
Right. Well,
Uh,
as far as I can gather, when there was some riots and protesting following, George Floyd and one or two other incidents,
okay.
there was a fellow that was shot in the pot by police, and he's now paralysed from the waist down. So basically, there was a lot of unrest, and this guy Kyle what's his name again?
Rittenhouse.
Rittenhouse?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. As Becca just said, he was actually driven. Him and a friend were driven from Illinois, but right close to the border, a few miles across the border into Kenosha, and there's footage of him. I believe there's footage of him confronting people and shooting a few people. I think two of which were killed. Have I got that
One, I
right?
think, definitely was killed and one was injured.
Yeah. And so, of course, the case went to trial, and then the judge has been quite interesting. He told the prosecution that the prosecution, for example, are not allowed to talk to the people that were shot as victims, but that they were arsonists or what was the other thing he said about them? Arsonists and
I don't.
something else. He,
I
he, he,
haven't
he
been.
said he's been making, it's very, very interesting what's going on in that case. Because the bottom line here, the bottom line is the suggestion that because he's white, he's being treated by the system very, very differently to somebody who would be black. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And can everybody remember the Michael Bell case?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Michael Bell Sr. has been trying ever since Michael Bell Jr. was shot in 2004. And I mean, remember, we ran through who all the different attorney generals have been. There's been Leixelager,
Yeah.
J.B. Van Hollen, Brad Schimmel, now Josh Call. And he's really, really going after them. And he got Michael Bell Sr., that is, and he's actually putting out this week a large advert about the case in of all places, the New York Times.
Oh, okay.
So
I was not aware. Oh, okay.
this is a big thing that Michael Bell Sr. is really determined to try. And I don't know about you, but just get some sort of transparency about what the hell is going on with the police. You know,
Yeah. I agree.
I mean,
Yeah. I agree. But
if you remember in Michael Bell's case, there's this bizarre situation where the one or two of the policemen that were deposed and asked, what happened when Michael Bell's son
yeah, some
got
funny
shot,
question. Yeah.
and they're saying things like, "Well, we can't really remember or not really sure."
Yeah.
All the typical vagueness that you get from law enforcement. And
I
then
remember.
the guy goes and writes a book about it, and writes it in extreme detail.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Some of
Yeah. It
the
is. Yeah. It is.
some of the
Yeah.
things.
It is.
Anyway, I will be doing a video probably tomorrow where I share the advert that's going into the New York Times. He wanted to wait till it had been approved, and it's probably going to be Wednesday. And of course, the timing of it is interesting because we could have. Well, there's going to be closing arguments. Is that the right word tomorrow? Or final statements by the cases in the Carl
Um,
Rittenhouse case, and they're being
I think
limited
Oh
to
so.
yeah,
an hour or
yeah,
an hour and a half.
yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
or at least they started on Friday, maybe, and now they're continuing them on Monday.
yeah. But what's it when you give your sort of final presentation? Is it closing arguments? I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
I've got
Yeah,
that
it's your
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
closing
It's
yeah,
closing
statement,
Yeah.
argument.
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
closing argument. Yeah.
it's the final thing, and they've been limited to a certain amount of time. So then the judge has to obviously give them some sort of directions, and they go out and they get a verdict. Michael Bell Sr. was telling me that he's also got billboards out in Kenosha, two of which are within 2 blocks of the courthouse
Wow, that's
Wow.
cool.
where
Wow.
the Rittenhouse
Yeah.
case is. Yeah. Um,
Kenosha is in Wisconsin again. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just. Do you know what Kenosha's famous for? Well, from my perspective, it's where the Fonz is. It's
I was
Ah.
where
gonna say, is it cheese?
Happy Days is based.
Yeah.
You mean
Really?
Yeah,
the
I
A
didn't know
funds?
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stay
Now,
cool.
I don't know if it was genuinely filmed in Kenosha, but there's certainly
No,
there is
but
definitely a bronze statue there, isn't there, Pete?
Yeah.
ah,
Yeah,
Actually,
wow.
Happy Days was filmed in Milwaukee, but Kenosha was a group came out of Kenosha. They were on there once. What the heck is their name now?
All
Um,
right.
I can't think right now.
Sure.
I was loving the show. Monday, Tuesday, happy day.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, happy day. Oh,
Oh,
it
Jerome's
was
got his happy
excellent with
days. Yeah.
Richie Cunningham.
Oh,
And
yeah, something about Buddy Holly. Um,
yeah.
they made a song like something like Buddy
Oh,
Holly.
Weezer.
yeah,
Yeah,
Weezer.
Weezer is the
Wizard.
name. Yeah,
Oh, like
Weezer. Yeah,
Weezer. Yeah.
yeah, Weezer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Pete,
yeah.
Pete. I know this is a difficult one for you
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
to answer, but you're the nearest to Kenosha.
Yeah,
The Belgium in Wisconsin is a lot closer, but the Belgium in Europe is a lot further away.
yeah,
What's
yeah.
what I'm not going to ask you for your opinion on this Rittenhouse case, but what would you say is the general mood of people? What sort of things are people saying about Rittenhouse? Are they saying, "Oh well, he should be banged up," or are they saying, he could actually get off with this?
I don't know. I think most of the people are. I don't know. It's like 50-50.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't even know what to think. It's a bizarre case. All I can say is I don't know. It's wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a
Yeah.
question, Pete. Do you guys have stand your ground laws out there in Wisconsin?
Repeat that again.
Do you guys have a stand your ground law in Wisconsin?
Um, Probably a certain. It's. I don't know. I'd be lying if I could really answer that. I
Oh,
don't know.
okay.
I
I
I
was just
think so.
curious.
Yeah, I think so, but don't quote me on it.
Yeah.
You know.
I was
Yeah.
just curious because this is because that's one factor in this is he actually defending himself or was he going out looking for trouble sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then also the fact is that you've got people with businesses and their livelihoods depend on their businesses and
Right.
they need to have these defended from rioters, and apparently the call was made for people to come and help. Is that right? For people to come and be these sort of vigilantes that would try and prevent looting and rioting. But I don't know about you, but to me that's the wrong way to go about it, because all you're going to do if you turn up with a gun, somebody else is going to turn up with a bigger gun. Somebody else
Yeah.
is going to
Right.
turn up with a bigger gun
Well,
again.
Yeah.
You're not going to get anywhere, are you?
Yeah. No.
I was just telling somebody this today too, because we were talking about it here at work, and uh, I look at pictures of this kid wearing what he's wearing, and he looks kind of like a school shooter.
I
Yeah, he
have a
Right.
does. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have a
And
question.
if I was
Okay.
in that area, and my generation grew up with school. Unfortunately, we grew up with Columbine and stuff like that. So like if I was standing in a crowd and I saw like a young white boy like that walking towards me, I'd be kind of freaking out too. Like, oh my God, what is he? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
ahead,
Yeah.
Jerome. Jerome said he
Yeah,
has a
I have a
question.
question for
Yeah.
you, Pete and Becca, because you're living in the United States. But Paul, I'm sure you have a huge knowledge too about the law. But I've in the past talking with Richard about this, I was asking him if I'm talking about Ericosi for people who don't know who I'm talking about. Um,
Just say the dude.
the dude,
The
yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
Everybody's a dude to Paul.
the
No, just kidding.
eternal champion.
Yeah.
Hurt for and mine forever.
And
Um,
don't feel funny, Jerome, that you don't know exactly what's going on, because I don't expect you to know everything.
oh no, no, no,
Yeah.
not at all. And I remember talking with him about the
Hmm.
guns in America, and I was remember to asking him if there were any possibility. I don't know what, but any possibility to change something to don't allow people to have gun in America. And he told me, "Oh, Jerome, oh my God, it's impossible because it's the Second Amendment, if I'm right. This is the Second Amendment. Yeah, right.
Yeah, the right to
Mhm.
bear arms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, and you cannot touch to this. It's impossible. There is too
Well,
much money. The industry of the armament, it's
Yeah.
too big. It's too much. It's impossible to tell today to people in America, okay, tomorrow we will stop selling gun and let let people have gun on them, or have people a gun at home, or
Mhm.
it's impossible. He told me it's impossible. But what are your thoughts to you? It's impossible or not?
No, it's American exceptionalism. It's this idea that because the rest of the world have done it, yeah, they did it slightly differently. That we're a special exception, and it wouldn't work. It's as you quite rightly said, the billions that it would cost to,
Oh yeah,
it's not going to happen soon, if at all. I think the best they can do is try and gradually limit, um,
yeah. The
the
possession
yeah,
of the
yeah, yeah.
weapon, or
But, but,
the
but yeah,
restriction,
yeah. But I mean,
the
going back
transport of
to,
it.
to, to Sharon's point, it's
Sharon.
the right to bear arms originally simply meant in the medieval times, different families, wealthy families, would have even their own little army, to defend themselves
yeah,
from
yeah.
somebody else, and they would have a coat of arms to show who they were. And the right to bear arms simply meant that you had your flag, and you were allowed to show your flag. But of course, it's been taken to mean the right to bear arms, meaning you're allowed to carry guns, or
Well,
it's
the
it's,
in
it's,
Yeah,
it's
America,
when I was
when
growing
when
up,
we made,
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, when we made the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, we based it off of we had the right to defend ourselves
Mhm.
against the
Yeah.
government because we came from a place where the government basically was pushing around the people, and and would come in, because there's also an amendment where the government's not allowed to just throw a soldier in our house, and we're supposed to house them, because that's
Mhm.
also something that the British Army would do. So that's part of the whole right to bear arms. Basically just means we have the right to have the same footing as our government, and so that way the government isn't higher than us. But
Yeah.
that's just not practical these days, because
Well,
the government has nukes and bombs, and I don't
yeah.
want my neighbor having that. So
Yeah. And,
it's
and, you, and you have to ask the question, as we do so often with so many of the things, in the fullness of time, how has that plan worked out? In some cases, it's been a bit of a disaster, hasn't it? Because you have these frequent, unfortunate mass shootings where somebody's not happy with their school friends. They're being picked on social media. Solution: I'll get my dad's rifles and go and shoot everybody at the school.
right.
It's not. It's I,
Well,
I,
and
I can I can
and
understand why
sometimes
why it was what it was meant to do in the first place, but
and some
at,
yeah,
at
yeah.
some point when you realise that something isn't working, don't carry on doing it. Sorry,
right.
Jerome.
Well, and see, the problem with guns in America is that it's so ingrained in our culture, and and how we look at life and deal with life. And even, like, let's take my town for instance. I live in a hunting town,
Hmm.
so everybody hunts, and you can't. It's not. You're never gonna take their guns away.
Hmm.
Yeah, but there is a difference between a rifle to hunt a deer
Yeah.
and a
Yeah,
Kalashnikov, or
Oh, I
a P90 or a Glock, or you
Yeah.
see what I mean? So yeah,
Yeah.
I
Oh, I
know for
agree. There's no assault rifle or a semi-auto
no,
rifle. There is no reason for, and
no, not at all. No,
I say this because and I say this against my family's wants and needs, because I'm not. My family thinks that it's okay, but like, there's no reason for a citizen to own a gun like that,
no.
because It's
And
not
just
for
think when I
protection. It's not for hunting.
and just think when I was a little kid growing up, I thought you heard of knives, people having knives and switchblades and stabbing
Yeah,
people, and at that time I thought that was bad.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
Well,
know?
When I was
Yeah.
kid
well,
too, yeah, it was
Yeah,
knife and
yeah,
never gun, never,
yeah,
never,
yeah.
never a gun, never.
Well,
But in Belgium, it's not allowed. So
yeah. Sharon would be able to fill us in on some more of the details. But at one time, Glasgow was the capital of knife crime in Scotland,
yeah, she told
um,
me.
and
Yeah,
they
she
Right.
told me.
managed
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they managed to basically, not quite eradicate it, but to bring it down through amnesties and just embarrassing people about the fact, that,
yeah.
like
It's
I
true.
said, if you're going to go out and you're going to be involved in a fight, and you take your knife with you, what are the chances that somebody else has got a bigger knife or somebody else has got a gun? It's not going to get you anywhere,
No,
is it?
no, 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 no. It goes on worse and worse and worse.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it
We
just
I remember.
escalates.
Well,
Yeah, yeah. It's an escalation and an escalate. Yeah, sorry. Uh, and I remember to talk with her about that. And one period of the time, that Glasgow was really, really a nice place. Not a nice place to be.
Mm.
And the night it was really horrible. You don't find bomb pot, but you find it case and
Yeah,
monkey junkie. You see what I mean?
yeah.
Uh, I was saying to Paul in Scottish, you find crazy people out there the night. Uh, at the time, I don't say today. I don't know. We need to ask Sharon for that. But Sharon responds: some of the police in America have adopted Glasgow method to tackle knife crime.
That I mean, it's like so many things. These things do take time to catch on. But I
Yeah,
mean, even getting back to Brendan, the whole business of interrogators lying to juveniles, that's slowly being eradicated. The
yeah,
recording of videos is gradually being brought in across the whole of the country. It just takes time, doesn't it? It's
right.
yeah,
Well, that's
and
that's part of the trick is you have to change the way people think about these things to make change in the bigger things like laws and procedures and all that. And that goes with guns too. You have to change the way our culture in America looks at guns to basically get rid of or stop gun violence.
yeah. It's a little bit like cars, though, isn't it? I mean, we all like our cars, and let's face it, that there are people in America that love their cars. They have collections of
Oh yeah.
cars. They have, they want the fastest, loudest, whatever.
yeah.
And
me
there
the
is,
guitar, me the
yeah,
guitar.
exactly. But with some people, it's the guns. It's
Yeah,
this unknown quantity of how much danger are they in. They perceive themselves as
Right.
being wanting to be able to defend themselves, but what is it they're defending themselves against? I mean, we
I
had
don't
back in
know.
the
I don't
Right.
understand. I don't
yeah,
understand.
did we not have back in the late 90s this term super predators? Where it was felt that the youth were going to be so terrible, but in actual
That's
fact,
crazy you.
it did. Yeah,
Yeah,
to a large degree, it never transpired, did it? But
no.
it's this fear of
Yeah, the fear. Yeah, yeah,
wanting
the
wanting
fear.
wanting wanting to to sort of defend yourself. I mean, I've had people quite passionately saying to me, well, you can't love your wife and kids if you've not got a gun.
Right.
Oh,
I'm
geez.
like,
I
Yeah,
what?
actually
yeah,
had
yeah, yeah.
that.
Say
It's
that again
crazy.
to
Yeah,
me. Say that again
yeah,
to
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah. I know it's
But
crazy.
I actually
they're
had that
serious about it.
conversation with because I actually, like I said, I grew up in this town, and like it's a gun town, and everyone I know has a gun and blah blah
Yeah.
blah. But like somebody, and I actually know, like I was taught gun safety, and I teach gun safety actually. Um, but like
Oh,
somebody
cool.
asked
Cool.
me
Yeah, it's
a few
cool.
years,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, somebody asked me a few years ago. And he had a kid. He recently got a kid, and he
Mm.
said, "I'm thinking about getting a gun for home safety." And I said, "Right now, as you stand, what would you do if someone broke into your house?" And he said, "Oh, I'd get a baseball bat." And I said, "Then why do you need a gun?
Mm.
You
Yeah.
know
Because
what? You
Yeah.
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
because
You
they
know,
might
you've
have a
been 30, yeah, you've
Yeah.
been 30 years in your whole entire life. Have you ever needed to use a gun in 30 years in your whole entire life? If the answer is no, then why get a gun?
Yeah.
Especially if you don't feel comfortable, or that's the other
I
thing.
agree with
People,
Becca. I'd feel a lot
Yeah, I
safer in the
agree.
house with a bat than a gun because, I mean, a gun can go off and you can instantly kill somebody. A bat, I mean, you'd really have to swing a couple times before you'd really kill somebody. But
Oh yeah.
I mean, a bat's dangerous too. Don't get me wrong. But to me,
No.
right.
I'd rather pick the bat than over the gun.
Well,
Definitely.
and seeing there's more
Yeah.
responsibility to a gun that people don't realize. Like if you go
Yeah.
out and get a gun, you really need to be trained in gun safety, and a lot of people
Yeah.
don't do that.
No. No.
And that's
Me, I
what's more
take my
scary to
hand.
me as somebody who's not trained in gun safety. You know,
Draw.
Me, I take my hand. I'm an old fighter, so me,
Oh my
they can
God, black.
come. They
What
can
black belt
come.
or? Okay.
No, but I know it's easy. But you know what direct the world is the fear and the money.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah.
right?
The
I mean,
fear and the money.
yeah, I mean, even going back to this baseball bat scenario, you've got to be so careful. I remember one of my pupils telling me that her boss would keep a baseball bat in his car for the reason of safety, and he saw somebody trying to break into the car, so he went to the car, to get the baseball bat. They ended up disarming him with the bat and beating him up with it. It's like,
Well,
Yeah.
did it never occur to you that that it's dangerous?
well,
I,
it's the same way if you had a gun in your car and
yeah,
and you were
exactly.
outside of your car, and then they can turn. But and people are, no matter what you do, people are gonna find a way to unfortunately be violent. And
Yeah.
it's like you said, like in America we have gun violence, but I know, like for instance in Canada they have stabbings all the time, and
Yeah.
it's just
And oh,
unfortunately
Whatever happened to the niceness? You always hear of the you know the ugliness all the time. You never hear the good stuff
right.
anymore. You know.
and,
Yeah.
and just a wee question. In how many state are you able to have a gun on you in America?
Yeah.
No,
What?
my question is,
Yeah. I
sorry,
didn't. I missed that
sorry.
too,
I'm
Jerome.
sorry.
Go ahead.
No, my question is,
Jerome, rewind here so I can hear you again.
yeah,
All right. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, Jerome. What are you drinking, by the way, Jerome? What is
So,
Jerome drinking, by the way?
Yeah, I think I know what your question is.
Okay.
yeah, go ahead, Paul.
I think what Joan was asking was that, are you allowed to carry a gun in America? And I think, does it
How
not have
many
to be?
states? In how many
Does it not?
states?
Yeah, it
Does it?
varies state to state. Like for instance, I'll just give example of where I live. In Arizona, you can conceal carry, which means I could basically put a gun, in my pocket without you knowing it's in there, without a license. And then I can also open carry, which means I could put a gun in like a holster where you can see it.
Oh, okay.
And both are legal and completely, you don't need a license or anything to do that. But
Well,
like,
see, by us
I
you
believe,
do by us you do it, and you got to have it. You got to have it hidden. You can't have it in a like
right?
the cow.
Yeah.
You
So
can't
I
be
was
a
just gonna
cowboy and
say
having guns in the open. You got to have them concealed.
that's why I was at. Yeah, I was just gonna say. I think in Wisconsin, you're not allowed to conceal
Well, there's a
carry, and
question
or if
for
you
Paul.
do, you have to have a license for that. So it just
So
depends.
sorry,
And
Becca.
in
Sorry,
some
Becca.
places like New York, you can't even do that. You have to have the gun unloaded, locked up, you know, in your car somewhere. Like it can't be
Yeah, it's
accessible.
different, but
Mm.
in every state you are able to have a gun.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
different.
Not in
It's
every
different laws
state,
in every
but
state. It's
not every
different laws
state.
in every
No,
yeah,
state.
no.
Yeah.
yeah, every state has their own gun law.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
And
it's
some have
crazy. It's crazy.
reciprocity,
It's
like
one
for
country.
instance,
It's one country
Yeah.
and different law for every
How's
state.
how's the gun situation by you, Paul?
Well, being as we're in an agricultural area, there are people that have guns. Well,
Okay.
specifically rifles. The farmers,
Yeah.
and we have people that go shooting pheasants. And
Oh, okay.
you've also got people that do it as a sport. But the
Oh,
guns
yeah.
are very, very different. It's a little pellet going into a target. But here in Scotland, for example, I remember an incident where an old fella in Jedburgh passed away, and he'd kept guns in a secure environment. You have to keep them in a metal cupboard, locked up, to make sure that they can't be stolen. And when the old fella passed away, the police came and took the guns, and then asked if this other retired police officer who also keeps guns, but under license, whether he would be willing to look after them for him. So it's very much a case of that they're kept very, very safe. Um, you know,
Do
you,
not
you,
do not say something interesting in
you, you,
Canada.
Yeah, you have to have a good reason for having one, and it's the police that actually give the license, as far as I know. And I mean, what's the situation in Bruges?
Yeah.
You just pop and see Yuri, do you? And he tells you about the alcoves.
Have you ever seen this movie, Pete? Pete, have you
Have
ever
you
seen this movie? In
in
Bruges?
Bruges?
What was it? No.
No,
Nah,
never.
I
And
should
Becca?
watch it
It
sometime.
sounds it sounds kind of funny. Yeah.
It's
Ah, it's a
brilliant.
good movie. It's a good
Okay.
movie.
I'll
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
check.
Now,
It's
I'll have to,
with
I'll have to check it out
uh,
then. Yeah.
yeah,
what is
Brendan
his
would
name?
love it. Brendan would
Oh,
love it
really?
Yeah,
because
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because there are. By the way, I know Brendan's read the Harry Potter books. I take it he's had a chance to watch the films.
I don't
Becca,
know. I don't-
Pete,
Yeah, he
Uh,
has.
oh, is he? Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
Becca
yeah.
knows more than me, so.
Okay, so
Well, just on the not
I
all,
mean,
not
on
on everything. No.
on certain things, Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
film in Bruges, one of the characters is played by Lord Voldemort.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ralph Fiennes,
What,
Yeah,
yes, yeah.
yeah.
One of
Ralph
them,
Fiennes. Yeah.
one of them is Professor Mad-Eye Moody, which I
right?
believe is somebody like Brendan Gleeson, I think his name is, and then the
Um,
other
Okay.
one is the actress that
uh,
plays Fleur Delacour.
Okay.
So
To be fair,
there's a
though,
strong. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, to be fair, though, like Harry Potter probably featured every UK actor and actress there ever is out there, which is like
It's
30.
interesting that because I'll tell you something. I've actually watched and went to the cinema, watched it, and I've got the video of it. A fairly recent production of The Merchant of Venice, and Gregor Fisher is in that. Now, Gregor Fisher, when Sharon put up the bit about the fact that you've never been to America, but you've been in a few states,
oh yeah.
I saw that.
that's a Rab C. Nesbitt punchline. But actually, Rab C. Nesbitt was never in the Harry Potters, was he? That's Gregor Fisher, which was kind of strange, But yes, I get it. I
Okay,
get
all
it.
right.
There are a lot of British actors in the various Harry
One guy wasn't in the Harry Potter movie. Okay.
Potter.
But just to
Yeah.
get
Well, it's
everybody
like watching
clear,
Doctor Who. All the
yeah,
British actors
yeah,
are
yeah.
also in Doctor Who.
Just to let everybody know, I mean, Brendan and me are almost the same, but we do like different stuff. So I
Yeah,
think Harry
Oh
Potter's
yeah.
okay, but I'm
Yeah,
not. I
for
mean, he's
sure.
got his own thing. I got my own thing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, for
Right. Right.
sure.
so
Yeah, like
there's stuff I'm
everyone.
not gonna
Yeah,
know. So
yeah.
yeah,
Right.
like everyone. Yeah.
Anyway, getting back to Brendan Dassey, did
okay.
you manage to get to visit him today, Pete?
No, because I was a little off this week.
Ah, yeah, of course you
Oh,
were. Yeah.
I had a
Oh,
rough. Yeah, I had a rough week again. Plumbing problems, and then I had
Yeah.
earaches and
yeah.
headaches, and it's like
yeah.
now I got a new thing with this heart thing situation going on. it just rains and it pours on me, but I'm going to try and get through this, you know. So
Mm.
You need to
yeah,
take care, my friend. Really, you need to
yeah, I
take
know. Yeah,
care.
so
And
Wednesday I went for the heart thing, and that's cool because I had a doctor named Wolf, and he took a look at it and he goes,
oh,
"Yeah, yeah." He says, "Yeah, your valves are leaking," and I'm going, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "Your heart muscle valves," and he says, "That's okay because the guy your age he expects it to leak, but it's kind of it was kind of weird. He was just talking it like like I was a car, a complete running
Exactly. I
car.
was going to. I was
yeah,
going to say.
Yeah,
It's
your valves
yeah,
are
yeah,
leaking, and
yeah,
I'm going, oh,
yeah,
usually
yeah,
on a car if they're leaking,
yeah.
don't they blow oil or something? I had a
yeah,
Ford.
yeah. I'm going to say
Yeah,
you must be
yeah,
burning oil.
yeah. I had a '69 Ford, a 351 motor, and it went through the valve guides, and when I stepped on it, and I had a smoke show going.
Yeah,
So yeah, otherwise than that, yeah, he put me on some pills. I'm doing pretty good, but I got to do this. I got to do this, that, and the other thing. So
Yeah.
yeah. I'm going to be taking it steady.
It's not
I've had
nothing.
a couple
Yeah.
of
yeah,
early
how you
nights.
doing, Paul? Otherwise, because
Yeah,
you weren't
Paul.
feeling the
Yeah,
greatest either.
yeah. Last night I went to bed early, and I don't know if maybe I was just slept a bit funny or something, but yeah, that I was kind of trying to get my breath all the time, you know.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
But it was just like being clogged up, you know, like when you get a chest infection. And I was a lot better this morning.
And
But
do
I will.
you have again difficulty to breathe, or it's okay now? Oh, you.
There's a constant sort of tightness there that I can feel at the
Yeah.
moment, which I, is what I discussed with the doctor a couple of weeks back, and she gave me a 5 day course of amoxicillin,
Ah, okay.
which helped a lot, you know. So I suspect
Yeah,
that
yeah,
when I phone her again,
yeah, yeah.
well, I phone the health centre, then they make an appointment for her to phone me back. She'll probably do the same again. But yes, it's just as you say, it's just one of those things. You've just got to let your body fight it, haven't you? You know. I mean, I'm very much against sort of intervention, if at all possible. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know,
I understand. Yeah.
I've spoken to health professionals that have said, you know, you get given all this medicine, but we don't fully know if your body would have just recovered anyway. You know,
No, they don't know
which tends to
everything.
be the case
Yeah.
with tends to be the case with me. You know, it's I hate going to get
But same for you.
these.
You need to take care and rest and take care of yourself. You know, here it's funny. I'm really happy to be here, but it's just a show. You need to take care. And
Yeah, and how are
Pitu
you
and
doing,
Becca
Jerome? I
too.
know for a while there you were
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
for a while I was not
suffering
well.
from something too, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah, because I had a lot of things, difficulty, and but about my health, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really not well, and winter is coming now. No, the winter is there now. It is there,
Mhm.
and in winter I'm not feeling really well because it's painful for me with why I suffer. I suffer from fibromyalgia, so it's
Oh,
Oh, fibromyalgia.
yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry for you. Yeah, I used to work
so
with somebody with that, and they used
yeah,
to
it's
help me. And I'm going, oh, what's wrong now? I got a certain kind of like a pain, and they were trying to explain it to me. Oh, yeah, I'm very sorry for you. I know what you're going
oh,
through. Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
It's the life, but I have that since my 26 and I 42. So I have it's been a long time I have this sickness. So for people who don't know, it's a pain everywhere in your body all the time,
Mm,
and it's not easy to manage. But after years and years and years, you try to learn to manage your pain and try to be cool and try to be relaxed and try to smile even
yeah,
if you feel pain. You continue to smile because it's like this, it's the life.
yeah.
But Yeah, but I'm now I'm feel better because I was not really well, but now
Mm.
I'm feel really better, and I see the situation goes on really well. And I have heard about convicting a murderer, the release of convicting a murderer. Is that
Mm.
true, or is there is teaser to at attention of the public and nothing, or there is a date for the release of the this stuff?
Well, no, because I would imagine that Sean Reck is now. I mean, he put it out at least a month ago that
Yeah,
he'd got these four
yeah, you see
films
the
and
teaser.
documentaries that he's done, and the
Yeah,
idea is then to try and sell to someone like Netflix or Amazon
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Prime or
yeah, 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 yeah.
HBO or whatever, But until somebody can get pays Sean Reck and Transition Studios for these for this documentary, then it won't get aired. I mean, what's interesting is that he would actually and he has done put together a film or documentary, and it might actually be sold the rights to that to one cinema.
Yeah, yeah, I see.
So like cinema owners might specialize in something a little out of the ordinary, and buy the film in order to then sell viewings of it. It's an interesting way of doing it. I mean, obviously,
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
for Laura and Moira, they've 10 years
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the process of making a murderer, and it obviously it eventually got taken up by Netflix and has been the biggest true crime documentary that they've ever had, and still the biggest. And when you
still
consider,
is. Yeah,
it runs to 20 hours now. And when they get round to doing the series three, which I pretty much think that they would do that. Why not? When the first two have been such a success, and they've got, you know, even if
they
they've
have a
not
lot,
got trial footage
in
of an evidentiary
information.
hearing, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
But yes, I do think that it's going to take it's not going to be suddenly that you're going to be able to tune into convicting a murderer. I'm just curious as to things like you've got some
me,
some of- some of-
I'm
some of the
curious
some of the some
about.
of the bits some of the bits in the trailers that you know. And I get it. Sean Reck wants to inspire, to sort of pique people's interests, and
Yeah,
and maybe
uh,
by what they're saying, to make you shout at the TV at the various people involved. And I think until we've watched all 10 45 minutes, it's very difficult to judge what it's going to be about because trailers can be misleading, can't they?
yeah. And do you know on each platform it will be released?
Well, I would imagine that once he sold it to one, that would
Yeah,
that would be I wouldn't be at all surprised if that wasn't an exclusive deal, so that one
but we don't
streaming
know yet.
platform.
Yeah, yeah, but
Oh
we
no,
don't know.
no,
No, no, no, no.
no. As I say, I think at the moment Sean Reck is in the process of in effect trying to sell
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
to
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
to
Okay,
the various
okay,
various platforms,
okay, okay.
convicting the murderer. You wonder would Netflix take it on when
No,
they've got making a murder.
no,
I suppose if if if
I
if,
don't
if,
think
if
so. But
there might be an argument for Netflix to say, well, we'll watch it, see what we think, and then we might put it on, because it's a way of showing that we're equally as balanced as as
yeah, if
transition
it's a good
studios are.
program, yeah, if
If
it's a
if
good
if
show,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And I mean, when you think about it, when it was first suggested that Sean Reck was going to do this convicting a murderer, if you remember, Ken Kratz was all over it, thinking this is
yeah,
brilliant,
Yeah, yeah.
because of Murder in the Park, and he actually thought. I think he actually thought that this would be great. We'll have an advocacy piece for the prosecution, but things have gone so badly for Ken Kratz that I haven't heard from him for ages. Thank
Well, that's
goodness.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't miss that guy at all.
No. No.
No, me
Sorry.
neither.
Yeah,
But where are
yeah,
you, Ken? Where are you? Come on,
yeah,
we will
yeah.
talk
Oh,
about a lot of
he's
things.
yeah, he's probably shacked up in some toilet somewhere. You know.
Yeah, me,
Oh,
I was wondering if in this documentary we will have the opinion of the Albac, but
I think we're going to have certainly
Mike,
yeah. I would suggest that because of the fact that it was felt that this convicting a murderer, it's going to be pro the prosecution, pro the police, that you probably have got people coming out and saying things, and that's always a good thing, isn't it? Because these people,
always.
these bad actors, they are bad actors. They
Oh yeah.
cannot help but trip themselves up and shoot themselves in the foot. That quote of Ken Kratz where he says, it's really effed up my case. It's brilliant. Have you seen the trailer?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
The,
yeah.
the, the
The
latest one,
tree.
the latest one, it's
Yeah,
about a 2 minute long trailer.
yeah.
There was
Yeah, I've
one a
seen
while
it.
back, wasn't there, where you got was it Rookie AC interviewing Ken Kratz?
Eh,
And Ken Kratz saying, what does the coroner do? He comes and kicks the body and says, it's dead. That was the original trailer, but now the new
oh,
trailer is quite something.
it's most
some
the new trailer is more funny. Yeah, it's
somebody
true.
somebody should stomp all over his rear. No, just kidding.
But really, when you imagine, yeah, I know why Anjanet Levy had never responds to my invitation
Go for it.
to my channel because I was wondering. Yeah, she followed me on Twitter. I follow her on Twitter, um, and I was in the idea to invited her to
Hmm.
my channel. So I have sent her a message, not to talk about Brendan or Steven, to know if she thinks they are guilty or not. No, to have an idea of what was her life at the moment of the case, the trial,
Hmm.
and share with people what she feel about all of this. So it was really neutral. Yeah, neutral,
Hmm.
right? The right term. And she never hands me back, never. And
Yeah.
when I see the the Sean Rake teaser, I see her on Sean Rake documentary, and I have understand why she had never answered to me about that. So yeah, I start to see then some people are in one way and some people are to the
Yeah.
other way, and this kind of people who have a tunnel vision about a lot
Yeah.
of things, and still today, till today, till today. Can you explain me just one thing? And after I stop to talking. Uh, the first book of Michael Grisback is The Innocent Killer, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. We are talking about Stephen Harry convicting of a rape. Why The Innocent Killer? Why title the book The Innocent Killer? He was not a killer. He was a rapist in this case.
I mean, the thing is
Don't you think don't you think it's something weird when you know all this weird stuff with Grisback, Colborne,
oh,
everyone,
it's yeah, but what it is
like a
that that that
passion, you see?
that that title is really meant just to try and raise awareness of it, make people think, oh, that looks interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
all to do with
yeah,
selling books, isn't it? But no, I was going to go back to your business about Anjanette Levy. Of
yeah,
course, when during the time of the trial, do remember that they had a legal expert that tried to explain things that were going on, and we've
yeah,
had
yeah.
him on
Remember?
before,
Yeah,
Rob
yeah,
Rob Bellin.
yeah. Rob
Uh,
Bellin. Yeah,
yes, so he actually said, I was going back through some of the old messages. He actually said, "Oh, you should get in touch with Anjanette Levy because I'm sure she still follows this case." So I would definitely keep at it, her. Keep on at
yeah.
her.
I will
Yeah.
try to continue to try to have her to have her feelings about this period of the time, because I'm not asking her if she believes that Stephen or Brandon are innocent or guilty. No, no, no. I would like you just to have a story about this period of time. That's all. So it's not bad or wrong or good, or it's just, you see what I mean? It's just a story. So I don't see what's wrong with that. But I will try to keep to have her. I will try to have her.
I
But
mean,
if
yeah.
you
Sorry,
can
Jerome.
have Rob Bolen to try to convince her to come on your channel, not especially mine. I don't care. You know me. I really don't care. On your channel to have her impression, it will be great. Yeah,
Yeah. Look, for me, I have a very low opinion of just about every journalist that was covering the case. I felt that they didn't ask the right
I know.
questions.
I know.
They missed some really obvious glaring things. You know how Mike Holbach was never asked. What do you mean the grieving process? What do you mean by that? You know, what do you mean it could last days?
Still
And, you know,
today, I
it's
don't understand.
explain.
Do,
You know, and
do
they
you
don't.
know who asked him that? Do you know the name of
Um,
the journalist?
was it Diane Alvear?
Okay.
I think it was Diane Alvear.
The other day I was watching again and again. I'm little bit like Millbilly, you know.
Yeah.
I'm obsessional and I want to know everything.
Oh, I thought you meant you both got like tons of guitars.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
What they do? Tons of guitars.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Millbilly is a great guitarist.
Yes.
Great, a great talent. And I was watching the news at the period of the 2005 case, and I see one reporter named Jason Allen,
Hmm.
and I was Allen, like Gregory Allen. Yeah,
Mm.
it's maybe nothing,
Right.
but I try to find information on Jason Allen, who was working at this TV station, to know he, if he don't have any affiliation with Gregory Allen, because it's possible. In this case, there is so much stuff we make nonsense. We are in the twilight zone. Then there is something I think we missed, and I try to think like you, like everyone. Like I try to think the piece of the puzzle we missed, to put the piece and say, "Hey, I got you." I got you, Ken. I got you, Fallon. Got you, guy.
Mm.
But it's difficult.
Yeah.
It's a long process. But you're right. The media, the journalists, their level. Uh, I mean, it's impossible. You are talking about your sister, who is just uh, disappeared from 1 or 2 days, and you are talking about when the journalist asks you, "Are you feeling?" You say the grieving process could last day. What does it mean?
Yeah.
If we find the dead body of Teresa tomorrow, do you think Friday it's okay for the bullying? Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because you know the
I'll be
grieving
recovered
process
by
could
then
last
because
day.
it's only going to last a couple of days.
Yeah,
Yeah. You know.
it's not my first language, even my second language, but I try to learn. And when I hear that, I don't understand what does it means. When
Yeah.
somebody is missing, the grieving process could last day, weeks, months. The grieving process.
Yeah.
I try to look on my book. No, there is no translation. about that when you're talking about a missing person? No, never. So it's weird. It's really weird. Why nobody jump on that and say, "Hey,
Mm.
what do you mean by that?" Because imagine if Steven had said that.
Yeah,
Imagine.
but you know what the problem is, of course, is the fact that here in the UK, when we had that case with the
Yeah,
Soham
yeah, yeah,
murders, it was the
yeah,
journalists that alerted the police.
yeah,
The
yeah,
journalists
yeah.
in Wisconsin, if they'd alerted the police, they'd have said, "Oh, it's nothing. It's nothing. Don't worry about
There
it.
is there is a
We're in charge
possibility.
here."
There is a possibility that some journalists had alerted the police, but the police was not interested in
Yeah.
that because they were corrupt and they want Steven in jail.
Their job is just to parrot whatever the state says, and you
Yeah,
can't help but wonder if maybe to a certain extent, that there's often this sort of implied, very subtle threats. It'll be the case
it's a
of
shame.
ask
It's a
ask
shame.
ask ask a policeman or a sheriff the wrong question, and they'll say, "Well, I'm not prepared to answer that. I'll speak to you later. But take care." It's that kind of
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's sad then
way
you
of
don't have record your conversation with
yeah.
Robert Herman because it will be interesting to read a conversation about what he had to say on the case because I mean a reasonable person who understand what happened in this case cannot say that or we are all crazy and we don't understand anything. But I mean somebody right in his mind don't say stuff like this.
Mhm.
I I think you agree, but
Yeah.
If if you get Angeline Levy on your show, Jerome, you'll have to have me come on
oh
too, because I
yeah,
have some questions for her.
oh
But they
yeah,
do have
come
to do
on.
with Brendan.
Yeah, you are really welcome. You are really welcome, Becca. And
Right.
Paul
Because I mean,
too,
I my
P2,
question,
everyone.
my main question would be like, how dare you? Or how could you? The way she handled the whole thing in general was just, I feel like it was kind of unprofessional as a journalist, but
Yeah. But but
Yeah,
but
yeah,
but,
but
but, but
she
it's
could have.
your opinion, and it's really
Yeah,
interesting to have your opinion on
mm,
this because your voice matter. I'm sorry, but all our voice matters. And
you're right.
mhm.
if I
I
have
But
agree.
Anjanet Levy, which is a kind of big star, I have Becca Chu, which is for me a big star too. You see what I mean?
Ah,
I have my Muzi, I have my Night Husseini, and
mm,
they are big star. I have my Wimi. I I have everyone in my heart. So yeah, nobody is a stars. Nobody is a stars. We are all the same, and we deserve to have the same respect for each other. So
mm.
if I
I
have
agree.
if I have Anjanet Levy, you are really welcome. I mean, everybody's welcome.
I mean,
Hello,
Right.
Barbara.
I
yeah.
agree.
But,
But that's I.
exactly.
But that's. I was just gonna say that's the one thing about
Yeah.
Angelique Levy that really absolutely grinds my gears is that she did that interview with Brendan over the phone, and she had an opportunity to give this kid, a voice to really speak
Hmm.
his truth,
Yeah.
and she just completely ignored it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think that I don't, and a lot of people say, well, it's possible that the state got to her or even her boss, but I'm like, if you're a journalist, you need to report on things, whether it's popular or not, right?
yeah.
Like
You
that's your
need
job.
you need the best story. You need. I think they say that in the documentary, the season 1 or 2. You need to have something strong. You need to have blood. You need to have the an horrible story to have more people coming on.
Mm.
And no, it's not journalist. No, no, this is not what the journalists need to do. Journalists need
Right.
to investigate on the case,
Mhm.
and
Well,
But
that's the
yeah,
thing. You have somebody that's
yeah,
supposed to be reporting and, investigating and reporting the truth, and all they're doing is parroting back the state's,
a story. Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah, yeah, I know. They repeat the story the states have, and it's again one way. It's one way to stay the story. Do you remember at the beginning? Oh, the one of the first subject of the news was, oh, ironically, the last stop of Teresa Albach was Stephen Avery. It already put in your mind that Stephen Avery is guilty for something because they talk about that. It was a shame from day one. From day one, and I'm
Mm.
talking about 1985.
Yeah. I mean, for me, Jerome, the big thing is, and as Barb's just pointed out, and we see it, don't we, in Making a Murderer? Every scene in Making a Murderer is there for a reason because of the hundreds of
Oh
hours
yeah,
of footage. Only certain bits made it. When that one woman's talking about murder is hot at the moment, and all the stations are competing against another, and what you've got with the journalists is that they're trying to garner the largest percentage of the populist audience, aren't they? And they're just going to pamper to that. And
yeah,
if as Pete's already told us,
yeah,
people didn't like the Averys. You know
yeah.
they
But
they
it's
they do you know what I've even had sorry one last thing. I've even had a girl to say on the comments, I don't even care if some of the rules were bent, they're still guilty.
Oh,
I
how
don't
can
even
you
care
talk like
if
that? How
they
can
broke
you
the
talk
rules.
like that?
That's what you're up against. The people they're blinkered. Some of them are
Yeah,
totally
yeah, yeah,
blinkered. They don't really care. It's
yeah,
the end justifies the means as far as they're concerned.
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah,
in this kind of case, we are talking about human life. We are
yeah,
talking about real people.
yeah.
They destroy life. They've destroyed at least two family, three with the Albach family. If Teresa is is dead, because we
Mhm.
are not sure 100% she's dead. It's likely possible she's dead. It's unlikely she's alive,
Yeah.
but I mean, they destroyed
Hmm.
at least with their story two family,
Yeah.
the Avery family and the Dassey family, and they are the hero. They are the good guys. They are the people we can touch. They are the people who suit Netflix because they don't look like oh,
If Teresa is dead, who do we know that's most likely to have murdered her, and that have even admitted on Making a Murderer to have an assassination unit?
uh,
It would have been easier to kill Steve than frame him.
yeah,
That
Yes, but
yeah,
some.
that conversation took place in the sheriff's office. It had to have done. Sorry, Becca. No, I don't condone going and egg in her car.
Um,
Peterson, Sheriff Peterson. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Yeah, that's really something.
I'm organizing a protest against Angelina in your chat.
That's really
Sorry.
something.
ah,
Just come out straight and just, hey, he'd be better off dead. What kind of talk is that?
yeah,
like you say in Scotland, an arsehole.
yeah. But
Um,
here's the thing. If they kill Stephen Avery, his lawsuit would still carry on
Yeah,
posthumously.
yeah,
They needed to get rid of that lawsuit on terms
exactly.
that didn't bring any repercussions to them.
And
Killing him, there would have been all sort of questions asked.
I completely
Why?
agree.
How did this guy that was sued for 36 million come to have this bizarre accident? Uh, Sheriff Peterson.
It will be
right.
all over the news. All
Yeah,
over the news.
yeah,
Well,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
at
yeah.
this point, honestly, if either one of them do die, they're gonna have they're still gonna have people like us who are not gonna give it up. So
Oh no,
Never,
that's right. No,
never give up.
Kathleen Zellner's not going to give up. We know that Steve Drizzen has also got a similar record of keeping going at these, and it as he says, people's opinions change, people in power change. The politicians change. We in the same way that it would be nice to get some sort of gun law reform and some
Yeah.
sort of reform on the death penalty. These
Yeah.
things take time, but eventually they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Listen, guys, I'm going to have to go because the game kicks off in 10 minutes. Isn't that right, Pete?
Yeah. Yeah, you
Yeah,
got it. Yeah.
yeah,
Go
yeah.
pack,
So,
go pack, go.
go Packers and F the Bears. Anyway, so ladies first. Becca, last words from you. That'll be fine. Yeah, okay,
Thanks for
and-
joining us, Becca. It's always a pleasure.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was great to hear from you.
Oh, we got her laughing
that's
today.
perfect. No, that's perfect.
Jerome.
Always look on the bright
Yeah.
side of life. Do-do. Always look
Oh
on
my
the
God.
bright side of life.
Jerome could be so funny.
Do-do. Yeah, it was.
Love
Yeah.
that song.
Excellent. Well, anyway, Becca, it's been awesome having you on. Always a pleasure to have you on. I've obviously had to put up with Jerome and Pete, but it's always nice to have you on. So, Pete, look at that concentration. He's busy typing. He is busy typing.
Well, I'm trying to answer all my fans out there.
Yeah,
I got more than one. I got more than one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're a
yeah.
big star, Pete.
In the
Oh,
summertime, I
absolutely.
got one
Big
fan to cool
star.
me off. But
Yeah.
When a big star like Madonna will contact you for your next movie or your next song, please contact me. Don't forget the friends, okay? If Madonna contact you for something, Pete, like you're a big star.
okay, I'll
Yeah,
have to
remember
remember you. I'll have to remember you if you're from the real Belgium, not Belgium, Wisconsin.
No.
Okay.
In Europe.
Unless you moved there
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jerome Buting was in Brussels 3
Yes.
weeks ago, I think.
He was in Bruges as well.
Yeah, as well too.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
It's
in
a
different
it's a
places,
fairy
yeah.
tale. It's a fairy tale town.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yes.
It is. You are all welcome in Belgium.
Oh yes. Yep. Okay. Well, that just about does it for today. My goodness, an hour and 20 minutes have just flown.
Oh yeah, this is
flown
our
by.
longest one. Usually
Yeah.
you're always running at
Yeah.
45 minutes. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But,
But I have talked too much, I think.
not at all. Not at all.
No, not at all, Jerome.
I think when we stopped doing the Era Cozy thing and actually started on time, it makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was different with the dude.
Okay, thanks everybody for being here with us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Cheers. Yeah.
And you,
Love
if you haven't
everybody.
already,
Yeah.
please subscribe. And this guy
Yes.
will see you.